Hello, welcome back to the Big Bad Bench, and today we're going to work on a compact Mac, the Mac Classic II, 68030, powerhouse on the cheap. Yeah, we're going to use these guys. So we've been working on this Classic II for a few weeks now. Look how nice it is. It's all retrobrighted. It's very pretty now. And so here, look at some stuff while I say hi to folks in chat. We got a lot of folks in chat for a Wednesday afternoon. Doesn't anyone have to work? Jeez, hello everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this afternoon. We got Eric Helgeson, Joe's Computer Museum, Jamie's Hack Shack, Gut Bomb, Trina's Techno Babble, Vic the Vicar. I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going, my friend? Ron's Computer Videos is here. I80386SX is here. All right. So yeah, we're not gonna drill into this. This is all nice and pretty. But one of the things we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I like to mount my BlueSCSIs inside these compact Macs. But we got some work to do before we get to that. So actually, there's all this stuff, right? So whenever you work on a Mac, you don't want to like, oh shoot, I forgot to do a thing. Sorry folks, I am way out of sorts here. I just finished fixing my pickup truck, or at least I hope I fixed my pickup truck. So I've been thinking about trucks and not computers today. Let's see, maybe we can get this working. Maybe I can pretend like I have some semblance of a clue as to what I'm doing. Marcus Mayfield is here. How's it going, Marcus? All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is put this floppy drive back together. So with all these, you don't wanna just use a old Mac floppy drive. You wanna give it some lube. You wanna get it nice and motioning. Let's see if I have a floppy here. And so this one was actually in decent shape, but I gave it some lubrication. But listen how nice and clicky that is. Oh, that's nice. So this was cleaned up, lubed. The other thing is, you know, with the eject mechanism, you got to get rid of your cheese gears, right? And you can see there's a cheese gear that had some corrosion on it. This one had a little bit of corrosion on it. I think this is the one that was out of this computer. It only had a little tiny bit. And so you get a little bit of corrosion on the pinion gear there. And so you get that all lubricated and that gets all nice and happy. And then you can put it all back together. So this is, what do we got here? This one's our cheese gear. So that goes in there first that way. So these are remanufactured. I think I got these from K-Koba, or Mac Effects sells them as well. So you put that in there like that, and then that, and then you take this, and there is a little snap here in the back. You want to give just a little. I don't like to just snap it. I like to give a little assistance with some tweezers there. And then we put that back in there, and we put that in there like that, and then we're good to go. All right, so that should be all nice. Hopefully I didn't lose it. Oh, I did almost lose a screw. Look at that screw hiding in there. We need a Phillips screwdriver. What pickup truck is it? I bet it's a Subaru Sambar. No, it's a 2004 GMC Sierra 1500. They have they're notorious for losing their knock sensors. And the knock sensors are mounted down inside the engine. But what you can do, if you're janky like me, you can buy knock sensors and mount them outside the engine. And then it just works fine. Okay, so this should be good. We're gonna assume that that's good. We gotta keep our little Apple logo here to the side. That's the last thing that we do. Okay, so we're gonna put our floppy in. Gotta find our screws. What did I do? Oh, here's our screws. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not that kind of knock. It's NOx. It's KNOCK. kind of a stupid thing. It has 2. It doesn't really need 2. Okay. I might do a short about how to do the cheapo repair. Yeah, everything in the early 2000s is total crap. There's so many electrical issues with this thing. All right, so then these are the screws that you need to put your floppy drive in your floppy holder. Floppy bracket. Oh shoot, we can't do this yet. We can't do this yet. Oh man, I forgot, because we gotta do the other thing. We gotta mount our BlueSCSI first. That's where our drill comes in. And we don't want to drill into our floppy drive, so we're gonna set you aside for a moment, floppy drive. Okay. So what we need here are some PC case. Oh look, I even have some dirt left on my hand from the truck. Sorry. We need some PC case standoffs, so the motherboard standoffs, but you need to make sure that the standoffs have an internal thread of 3mm. You can't use a 632 because some standoffs are 632 and some are 3mm. You got to use your 3mm because the 632 can't fit through the BlueSCSI. You can actually drill out the holes to make it fit, but I only do that to my cheap knockoff BlueSCSIs. I don't do that to real BlueSCSIs, and we're working with a real Eric Helgeson approved BlueSCSI here. And you know, where might someone be able to buy a BlueSCSI like that? Maybe someone in the chat has some idea where you can buy BlueSCSIs such as these. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set that on there where we want it to go. And yes, BlueSCSI is the best hands down, and that's why I'm going to mount this thing in here like this, because I know that I'm never going to go with another drive option in this computer, because there's no other potential solution that anyone could ever want except for a BlueSCSI. All right, so what I just did was I marked the 3 holes that are part of our BlueSCSI, and then we're going to use our center punch here, and we're going to come in all that, make sure we're in the middle of our hole. There we go, and one more. You probably don't need all 3 holes, but why the heck not? We got to drill. We have things to drill. Let's use all 3. Okay. Try not to drill through your workbench. Okay, there we go. Got our 3 holes there, and we'll just throw this right on the floor. Get all those metal shavings on the floor. We never walk in here barefoot anyway. So we're going to take our 632 tap and ever so gently just tap out that hole right there. Hopefully, yeah, this is kind of like our Armageddon. Instead of saving the world, we're going to save this Mac Classic II. Garth asked if I changed my blinker fluid too. I'm lucky to have blinkers at all on that truck. I don't want to touch the blinker fluid. Oh, Trina, spicy this afternoon. I might have to turn off the chat replay on this one. Got our tap, and this is all nice now. You want to be careful when you drill and tap holes into these thin pieces of metal like this. You can get little metal shards there on the back side, so we don't want those to stay in there. We don't want them to fly inside of our floppy drive. So we are going to get a little spudger action. I'm going to just scrape away all those little metal shards. Sorry, you can't really see that. And there are little tools that you can use, like if you have one of those reset bits things, you could theoretically just put that in there. There we go. But this is good enough for our purposes. That's not going anywhere. Okay, so now, we're gonna drop screwdriver bits everywhere. We're going to put our standoffs in there. I'm made especially sure that since I'm recording this, that all 3 of my screws are the same. You don't ever want to have multiple different screws in there. It makes you look like you have no idea what you're doing. I like to let my work show that I have no idea what I'm doing, but not the work that people might see later. And Trina gave a link to jcm-1.com. You gotta find better URL. Although I guess everyone knows it by now. I'm gonna just give that a little tweak, make sure it's a little tighter. All right. So now we should be able. Don't need that. Let's see if I got, oh, look at how nicely those are lined up. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Almost. I can pretend, can I? So yeah, normally when you buy these, they come with a little 3D printed bracket that you can use to hold them down, but I like to go this route. It's nice and secure. It's never going to go anywhere, and we know we're never going to do anything else with it. So keep it in there, nice and secure. Okay, now let's stick our floppy drive in here. Well, so that's why, you know, if you don't have the proper tools and you don't want to just hit it with a hammer, you can use the 3D printed ones. And there are very cool 3D printed elegant solutions out there. I think it was Joe and Eric from Eric's Edge worked on one for an SE that you can have it mounted up so that you can like pull out your SD card while it's already mounted in there, which is a really cool freaking thing. I really like that. I think you can also buy those on jcm-1.com. The SE front mount. All right. So that's good. We can set that aside. Here's some screws. Let's start putting the rest of this thing back together, shall we? We are going to start, with a painfully orange t-shirt. And we're gonna need our, oh yeah, also PotatoFi designed a rear access SE mount, which is also very cool. I bought some of those at one point. Let's see, now we need our T15 Torx bit. And here's our chassis. This has all been cleaned up fairly well. What do we have here? Okay, so with these, JVHS says it looks like DeWalt yellow on this end. Yeah, that's kind of right. RetroTech Tom, how's it going? It is almost like DeWalt yellow. So with these compact Macs, you're gonna come up to short and long screws. All of the stuff that we're about to screw in, the chassis and the screen, are gonna be held in with the short screws. So we wanna make sure we start off with some short screws. We might lose these yellow anodized short screws on these orange shirt. So this is gonna have 4 total screws in the chassis. So Trina keeps bringing up 911. So I don't know if you happen to be watching Dave's Vintage Apple Tech stream last Sunday, but I was working on my Apple IIc color monitor, and I discharged it on myself. There's 2 screws down there. The anode discharged on me. It was pretty darn excruciating. So yeah, don't discharge your CRTs on yourself. I think I posted a link to a little clip I made in responding to Dave's stream announcement last weekend to see what happened live. It was actually kind of scary. So I think I'm going to be making a CRT discharge tool. All right, so there's our chassis in. We're going to put in our CRT next. Now these, the Classic and the Classic II, have these little tabs up here that help you sort of locate the CRT more properly. We're only going to put 3 of these screws in for now. And you might notice when I'm putting these screws in, putting them on here, I'm turning backwards until I hear click. And that's telling you that you're in your existing threads, so that you're not making extra threads in this old plastic. Even though the Classic and the Classic II, they're typically not on the brittle Mac list, but it doesn't hurt. Okay, so there's our CRT. You want your yoke connection facing this way. And now we're going to go for the analog board. These need to be recapped. This one I've already totally recapped. This section right here is the problem. And I think these are the caps from this one. This one was kind of gross. I forgot to get a picture ready, but I took pictures of this. You can see these were the caps that leak right there, and they just make such a gross mess. We caught this one kind of on time. I have another one that I've worked on that the back was totally corroded, like you can see little bubbles in the solder mask. This one's all nice and clean, so we got to this one in time, and so this one's good to go. I'm gonna put this up here, make sure that we don't pinch anything. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, let's connect our yoke right there, like that. And you can see that there's one that's kind of separated. You can see that's kind of separated in the plug. So we're gonna stick that there like that. And now there's gonna be a little slot that the analog board fits into there. And we're gonna slide that down. And then we're gonna have 2 screws that hold that in. I don't know what the thread is on these. It's bigger than 632. It's kind of coarse. So I don't know. It's a weird thread. It could be 632. I don't know. Let's see. If we hold it up to a 632 screw. Oh God. Oh, don't lose a screw. Oh jeez, don't lose a screw here. Okay. Trina says, I think I know what would go well with watching this stream. Chocolate ice cream. Yeah, it does look like 632. All right. It's too small to be 832. Yeah. Apparently it is 632. I don't know. These screws always look bigger to me, but that's the 632. So I guess if you lose one of those, you could always replace it with a 632 thread. Whenever I do these, I like to put in both screws at the same time. And then tighten them from there. Okay, so now I'm going to leave that off for the time being. I'm going to attach our anode. This one has been safely discharged, so it's okay. Okay. Hey, Ian Scott's here. How's it going, Ian? Yeah, I was taking a break from the outside, so you know, I'm a teacher, so I'm not working right now. I've been really killing myself this summer out in the yard. And I think I've gone too far. All right, so this, our ground strap goes there. Make sure you do not forget your ground strap. Bad things can happen. So yeah, my knee's kind of screwed up right now, and I'm taking a couple days off from the yard. Okay. Actually, we're gonna pop that out because we don't need this cable in here. This is the Molex to go to the hard drive. Okay. All right, so now what we're gonna do is put in our floppy drive bracket. Nope, doesn't go that way, goes that way. 2 tabs go into 2 slots. Okay, so you can see the little tab there, and then these little tabs go in here, and these things actually have 4 screws. They were really worried about these floppy drives going places, I guess. So these have 4 screws. Let's see if we have all 4 of these. We actually have 5. No, that's 6. Yeah. Freedom units. Yeah. I have no idea what these threads are either. These look like metric. These look like maybe 3 millimeters, or no, not 3 millimeters, like 3.5 millimeters. So I don't think they're quite 4. Yeah, I would say they're probably 3.5 millimeter screws. But you don't really care what they are as long as you keep them on track while you're taking your computer apart so that you know exactly what needs to go where. And this giant pile of screws off to the top left of the screen that you can't see right now is totally indicative of me knowing exactly which screw goes everywhere in every computer that I've been working on lately. Okay, so this one goes through that hole, which I can't fit my normal screwdriver through there. So that's why we're going to switch to our iFixit. Okay, now we'll come back and tighten the rest of those. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is connect the fan. That's much easier to do before you attach your neck connector and all the other junk that's in here. Okay, so one of the things I just noticed, I don't know if that's going to come through on the camera real well, but because the caps on the logic board leak, sometimes this connector gets kind of corroded. You can see there's a little bit of green in one of those leads. So what we're gonna do, I just bought some of this deoxit on a brush. So we're gonna put some of that right down in there. And I'm sure that'll, may as well do them all while we're here. That'll keep that nice and happy. Okay. Now we'll slide in our logic board. Oh, before we do, I'm gonna grab a couple of sims. Eventually I wanna find some 4 meg sims for this one. So the Classic II can go up to 10 megs of RAM. That's one of the things that's kind of castrated about it, but you know, it's fine. That's not a matched pair. What's going on? What kind of thing are you trying to pull here, John? Okay, there's a matched pair. Gotta keep them matched, right? Oh shoot. Let me see if I have a battery somewhere. Unlike I don't listen to all of Ron's advice. I like to put a battery in my computer. Sorry, Ron. Yeah, the can just goes everywhere with the deoxit. Yeah, I forgot to show this before, but I've shown this before, how I make the little adapter, or the little lead that holds in the CR2032s. I like to use CR2032s because they're less likely to leak than the other stuff, and I like to keep batteries in, mostly because I don't like the annoying time noise and my mouse speeds on certain Macs. Let's zoom out just an ever so scotchy. There we go. Okay, so here you can see a little slot there, and there's slots here. There's actually like a little shelf that the board kind of sits on that side. So you slide that on your shelf, put that into the slot there, and then you just slide that in there. And now we're gonna take our power connector. Where did our power connector? There's our power. It's actually more than power. It's our power, our video, our audio. And we're gonna put that in there. So that's ready to go. And now we'll put in our yoke there. And now we need a SCSI cable. Oh, I just happen to have one right here. Oh, and we need a floppy cable too. Uh-oh. Where'd you put the floppy cable, John? This one looks to be reasonably clean. Let's clean it up a little bit. Okay. Floppy cable. floppy cable. There we go. Now, the bad bit about mounting these the way that I mount them is that it's kind of opposite from the original Mac. And so sometimes you have to do a little bit of gymnastics with the cable to get it to work right. So we'll put it in our SCSI. I probably should power this on before connecting the BlueSCSI, but let's go nuts. Let's just assume this thing's gonna work. We know the logic board works. We do not know if the analog board works. Okay. Yes, it's twisted. It's very it just doesn't look pretty. The plus adapter that Joe sells mounts the BlueSCSI upside down, so the cable doesn't need to twist. There you go. Okay, so here we go. Everyone excited? I know I'm excited to get this thing off the BigBadBench finally. Hopefully. Let's keep our fingers crossed. We probably need some electric. I always forget to do that. Always make sure that your electric is off. Oh, you know what the other thing we should do before I forget is put this thing on here so I don't shock myself. Because that's what I do recently, is shock myself. So let's clean that up a little bit. These things can get kind of gross on the back, so you want to make sure to clean them off. Ian Scott says, I'm so excited. Oh, man. I appreciate how easily amused you are, Ian. And everyone that watches the BigBadBench, thank you for being easily abused by my antics. All right, we're gonna have to clean. Oh, look at this mess. What is going on here? Oh, look at how nice that is now. That's way better. Can't have a nasty insulation thing. Will the reefers blow? There shouldn't be any reefers on a Classic II. Now you're worrying me. Did I miss a reefer? Or maybe that's what happens in Europe. Are there reefers in the European? Oh, they're plastic reefers. Neat. Neat. Okay. Now I'm less likely to injure myself. Are you happy, Trina? Okay. That's mounted. Now we'll hook up electric. Okay. 3. Is everything connected? Let's just double check that everything is connected. I think we're good. 3, 2, 1. Chime. All right. Let's go to Potato Cam. Yay. So hopefully this BlueSCSI image that I put on here is good. Come on, buddy. One thing I didn't do, actually, so one of the reasons I do like to leave this on here is to check the voltages. Let's give this a few more seconds. Come on over here. Camera. Come here, camera. Focus. Focus, camera. There we go. It's counting all that RAM. Come on, camera. So III DIY gave me instructions on how to do this properly, and I have not yet had the chance to fix this issue. So we got no cursor. Oh, you know what? I was working on this board, and I do remember seeing an issue that I needed to resolve before. But let's actually real quick. Oh, let's switch out of here. Let's go back to this. Let's plug in this and check our voltages real quick. So I did notice that one of the pins on the egret was a little bad when I ultrasonic the board. So we'll need to take care of that too. Okay, so let's check our voltage. So here we're gonna go, really care mostly about the 5 volt. So let's do that. .503, that is dead on. Look at that. That's good voltage. All right, let's fix that solder joint on egret. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, the post should not take that long on this thing. So there had to be something not happy about it. We just spent all that work getting this thing assembled. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. All right, so let's go into the microscope. Ah, I was wondering what brought you out and about into the world, Gut Bomb. Sorry, that's not in focus either. We're having focus issues today. So the egret was very dirty. Dirty. And now I feel like I'm gonna have to ultrasonic this thing again. Maybe I can just do it like isopropanol. Some of these other pins also look scarfy. Check that one. This chip was really bad. If you remember, we took it off and sort of polished the legs. I think. I'm just sort of picking at it with a razor blade a little bit, try to get some of that corrosion off of the outer layer. Help the solder flow onto those legs a little bit. There we go. Now we're getting some flow onto the top nicely. Okay. Let's poke at this. Is that one? Yeah, that one's fine. All right. They're all redone. Let's see if that solves our issue. And I think just for good measure, I'm gonna add a little bit more deoxide onto this. Actually, I was watching the redo of the Steve stream the other night, and it reminded me that sometimes you should double check the connectors on the back of these. Let's go back into the microscope and take a look at the connectors. Sometimes these can crack. These all look pretty good though. There's a weird little circle on that one. So let's do it while we're here. Let's hit them real quick. I'm gonna make a mess on this board already. Just cleaned it. We just cleaned it. But we're gonna make a fluxy mess. Ooh. Eric's working on BlueSCSI for next stuff. That's fun. Yeah, these joints are nice and shiny now. That makes me feel better. It's always nice to have nice shiny joints. There we go. Ron says, what the flux, man? Alright, now let's befoul these beautiful clean connectors with some of our red deoxit. Alrighty, let's see what we got now. Come on, egret. Be good to me. Let's hope that was our issue. Gonna plug and unplug that for just to do that. Okay. Normally I don't plug everything back in, but sometimes I like to go nuts and just plug everything in. Okay. Keep our eye on our voltages. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Huh. This thing is not doing what I want it to do. Oh, there we go. We got cursor now. Come on, do something. There we go. There we go. Ha ha! Woot! This might be a little excruciating. I think this is 753 with all the Wi-Fi stuff. It doesn't like having only 4 megs of RAM. And who knows? Maybe I have maybe I have virtual memory on this. Uh-oh. YouTube is saying ads will run shortly for some viewers. I'm gonna skip that. Y'all don't need to see ads. We run ads here for jcm-1.com here, where you can buy Ian Scott's awesome Pico Gus. All right. Look at all this BlueSCSI stuff we got on here. Oh, come on, camera. I'm so sorry, III DIY. Oh, wait. This is saying 10 megs of RAM. So are these 4 meg? I thought I grabbed some 1 megs, but these might be 4 megs. That would be nice. I didn't think I had too many more 4 meg sims around. That is sweet. But yes, there's 2 megs on the logic board on this thing. And then you can add 2 4 meg sims, and then that's 10, and that's your max that you can get out of this thing. OS 761 even worth the effort on a Classic II? No. But I like 753. So there we go. Sweet. All right, let's see if the floppy drive works. Where did that disk go? Yeah, 7.1 would be really good on this thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to check the memory thing. Come on. Let's go down to memory. Let's see if I have virtual memory on. That might explain why this is so slow. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Could not do control memory because an error happened. That's not good. Sorry. Trying to zoom out a little bit. See if that helps. Oh, and there's our floppy. Yay! Sweet. So the floppy's good. That's all good. Alright, so I might have to do some additional testing on this thing. I'll probably run a different OS. So, oh no, system error has occurred. I'm wondering if those two memories are the same. Did I put 2 of the same sticks in there? Our voltages look lovely. So that I'm excited about. Let's see. Nothing smells like burning. Four two four one zero zero. Yeah, they're all the same. I was thinking I had a different one. No, there's no smoke. It's just unstable. I'll have to try it with another image. I found one of my BlueSCSIs, the images that I had copied to my desktop was corrupted, and I've been using it for a bunch of systems, and I shouldn't be using it for a bunch of systems. I should go and find my good one again and bring things back around. It's not the best advertisement. Normally BlueSCSI is great. I just did something to it. It was not BlueSCSI's fault. It was just me futzing around with the OS that made it angry. And I think that's the one that I wound up giving to a lot of systems. Anyway, let's close this guy up because I need to get some stuff off my bench. I'll do some more testing on this thing. It was totally not BlueSCSI. Was not in any way. This was 100% BigBadBiologist. Okay. So I'm gonna only put in. I'm only gonna put in a couple of the bottom screws because they're easy to get to. I also thought of one other thing I want to do today on this stream before we leave. I have, I think, the world's nastiest 2SI power supply. I want to pop that open, take a look at it. Oh, and we got to put the logo back on the front of this case. That's the most important thing. That signifies that the project is basically done. And it is. I'm not worried about that instability right now. There we go. I forgot to pull up a clip from a couple weeks ago when we first took this system apart to show what it looked like, but it was kind of ugly. It was kind of ugly. This system Gut Bomb picked up for me. Gonna clean that little spot off right there. And gotta go get my glue. Where did I put that little logo? There it is. So of course, I like to use black RTV just because it's kind of easy to pop off if you need to pop it off again. Get rid of that. Just a little dog hair, piece of plastic back there. Put a little dot right there. Oh no, we're gonna make a mess. We're gonna make a mess. There you go. So this thing looks way nicer than it did a couple weeks ago. It was like half yellow, and then when I put it in the retrobrighting tank, it like yellow came off of it. So some of it was actually dirt. It wasn't all just, it wasn't all yellowing of the plastic. Some of it was actually dirt. All right, so that's cool. I'm 99% sure that thing's gonna work fine. Let's take apart this 2SI power supply that I've been wanting to take apart. Since you're all here, yeah, it looks brand new. It's probably the nicest Classic II that I've worked on. All right, so this is a 2SI power supply. Look at this mess. So it was in a battery bomb system, but also these things are just bad to begin with. The power supplies on a 2SI are probably the worst in vintage computing. You pay it for $1,000 now. Yes. Let's take a look in here and see what horrors await us. The sticker says it's okay. Oh, wow. Look at that horror. Look at that horror. Oh, look at the green. Oh, yeah. That's not going to go well. That side looks fine. The secondary side is not happy. Well, let's see. Let's get a closer look at this thing. So we're going to grab these little guys, put them in there, grab that in there. Where's my... whatever these are. So this 2SI logic board is toast. The case actually is turning out okay. I started retrobrighting that. Save the adapter and use a Pico PSU. Yeah. But you know me, I like to fart around with the originals. I gotta try evapor rust. I have some rust remover and it's fine, but it's not great. This, but the 2SI case that this thing came out of is actually nicer than my 2SI case, so I'm gonna transfer everything over. But I want to get this thing in the ultrasonic bath. Because of course you want to ultrasonic clean this thing, right? Look at all the rust coming off onto the BigBadBench. Oh, I think that comes off, and then there's a connector. Yeah, that's right. Got a connector. Loosen all these up while I have my torque assistant. Thought there was one down here. Maybe I just can't see it. Oh yeah, I just can't see it underneath all the corrosion. Yeah, that screw. That screw's seen some things. It's got nice patina. That's part of the eBay experience. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Look at how juicy that is. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at the solder mask is totally gone. It's totally bubbled up. Let's look at this under the microscope. Let's look at this real fast. So that's not too bad. That'll clean up. That'll clean up. Let's look at this thing under the microscope. Sorry, let me focus this. This is gonna need a little adjustment. Yeah. Look at that. Let's get something to poke with. Look at that. Oh, the solder mask is flaking off and the juice is underneath of it. Wow. Yeah, this one's bad. Like, I've had them where they were like corrosion-y, right? But to have the solder mask flaking off like this with the juice in between, I have not seen that. Look at that. Oh, this is disgusting. So what do you think? Y'all think I should just scrap it? Look at how juicy it is. Oh, it's so juicy. I'm gonna try to fix this thing. I don't care what y'all say. We are gonna try to fix this for some stupid reason. Look at that. What's that doing? That's not a color that should happen near things that have solder on them. Yeah. Wow. So much juice. This is fun. Yeah. All right. Well, that was a good time. Wow. Just wow, y'all. So we'll revisit this one at some point. Yes, you could do a Pico PSU with this thing, but I love futzing with things that have no reasonable right to live again. Look at this. That's cool. So this is the corrosion going up the side of the capacitor and actually corroding the aluminum. See how it's bubbling? That is cool. This board is a mess. Joe says plug it in, I want to see fire. No, I don't think so. Not today. I had too much of a hit with electricity last weekend. I don't think I can do it twice in 1 week. Got too close last weekend. All right, folks. Well, oh, look at this mess on the bench. Look at all the bits that came off of there. Measure the IIsi PCB. You mean the power supply for the power supply PCB? Yeah, we can do that. Okay. I'm gonna clean my hands real quick with some Windex. So that's what we do here. All right. Yeah, JVHS, I can do that for you. All right, well, I want to say goodbye to y'all. Thank you so much for stopping by today. This is an impromptu thing. I wanted to show off that. I wanted to show off the Classic II. Say goodbye to this thing. Hopefully, if everything tests out all right, we're gonna find this a new owner. Get some money donated to some charities, or one charity. We'll see how much. What do we got? But yeah, that was fun. So we'll be back at it Saturday. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do Saturday. I'm waiting on some cap orders to work on those Game Gears. Might recap a Game Gear. I also really need to work on my PS2 Model 80. I can just hear the capacitors in the floppy drive degrading every night when I go to sleep. So yeah. But yeah, thank you all so much. It was great to hang out with you. I appreciate the heck out of you, and I hope you all have a lovely rest of your week. Zap. Oh, I80386SX is streaming tomorrow at 6 o'clock Central Time. Software heavy. All right. Bye, y'all.